Our lesson today is titled On Judging Others. The scribes and Pharisees, doctors of the Jewish church law, were scandalized. They called the disciples and said, "Why does your teacher eat with these people?" They believed, according to their skewed and canted interpretation of Jewish cleansing requirements, that to eat with someone who was unclean, sinful, hadn't done the ritual sin sacrifice at temple to remove their sins, which included paying a fee, paying to buy a young bull if very sinful, or otherwise just a young lamb or goat if not. If it was a woman, it could have been a pair of matched doves. They contaminated you. But this wasn't truly a Jewish Mosaic law, but the traditions that came about as the Jewish faith was turned, changed to fit the Moors, and the financial needs of the very powerful men within each synagogue. The Pharisees and the scribes adapted the laws to fit their financial needs. Jesus and his Almighty Father knew that there was nothing wrong with any of these people, the tax collectors, the money changers, and other men and women who were labeled sinners because of their employment. The tax was set, and then each was allowed to add an additional amount to each collection, determined by the tax collector, that, by law, was to collect for his wages for having collected the taxes from each person. But that, of course, opened up for the opportunity for the sin of greed or of theft. And thus, many of the tax collectors were the wealthiest persons of their area. But not all of them. Not all of them engaged in usury. Not all of them engaged in the sin of theft, the sin of usury, the sin of greed. The money changers charged a percentage for each transaction, and as they were skilled at monetary transactions and math, and the average person didn't know diddly crap about math, didn't know the price of gold, silver, or bronze against the Roman coin, this too was an opportunity for the sin of greed and theft, a cardinal sin combined with a mortal sin within each transaction. Oh, what an opportunity! It was very dangerous for the money changer's soul. The others called sinful were all who worked directly for an income, every single one of them. It started with prostitutes, but then it went to porters, people who carried stuff. Less so, but still, bakers, skilled tradesmen, but they were also included because they received cash, which was thought very low or brought low by the filth of money, which later became the phrase that you are quite familiar with, filthy lucre. But tradespeople also worked in barter, so they weren't quite as dirty as those doing the direct physical labor as were the prostitutes and porters. All needed to be brought back to God, to the faith. All needed forgiveness, which could be the love and acceptance of all, by all, but beginning by being modeled and shown by Jesus. Love and forgiveness in and of itself. Jesus heard the words of these officials and said, "Those who are well do not need a physician, but the sick do. I did not come to call the righteous, but the sinners." In this statement, which many of you have heard many, many times, Jesus is the physician to the sinner's sickness. They are the sinners he is calling to himself for redemption. The righteous he needs do nothing, for they are already saved. God's mercy seeks everyone, forgives everyone. The only thing he asks of you is to say, "Yes, help me." That is all. In the same vein, we have Gospels where people again sit inappropriately in judgment of their brothers and sisters when they themselves are so full of sin. They have hearts blackened and hard as rock, as do the scribes and Pharisees. They manage to overlook the fact of their own planning of murders, including the murder of the Son of Man. They don't see this as sinful, though it casts them, and what few of their spawn survive, into Gehenna for eternity. For there was no repenting murdering the Son of God. From Matthew 7. Judge not, lest ye be judged, and the measure by which ye use to measure, the other shall be used on ye, and ye shall be found wanting on each measurement. Another way of saying this: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love one another as I have loved you. Go in peace, my brothers and sisters. Have a good week.